All right, let's begin our coverage. We have a team of reporters spread out all across the valley. Let's begin with Jade Cunningham. Jade, where are you exactly? And I know when we talked to you earlier during our breaking news coverage, which has been going on for hours, you were getting soaked at some points and you were dry at some points. What's the latest?
I know I've kind of described it as this like roller coaster of weather systems, if you will, because my photographer Chris and I, we have been out here in Sun City for most of the day today, and it really has been kind of hit or miss. You know, in 1 second it is just downpouring and it's coming down pretty good, and then the next second the sun comes out, and then all of a sudden it rains again, and then the sun comes out. So we've been kind of following this weather all day today, and it is all that people here are talking about it. Throughout the day we've had people kind of stop and say, hey, did you see this rain? Did you see the hail? And you hear the thunder and lightning. So, you know, it is causing a lot of excitement, if you will, among people. Right now, we are at 107th Avenue and Peoria Avenue. We have been watching water slowly kind of dissipate in this intersection, though you can still see some of it is lingering around. It is filtering down 107th Avenue, and it's going down to the Agua Fria River. We also have, right now it's kind of sprinkling a little bit. You can see on one side the sun is out, and then we are watching as storm systems move to our left on the other side, and where the sky is dark and ominous. Now, much earlier today, we were at 99th Avenue and Grand, which I do believe we have some video of much earlier. That was around maybe 1 o'clock or so this afternoon. When we got there, they had just experienced some torrential rain and hail, and they also had thunder and lightning, and it was really windy as that storm kind of moved on through. It was a fast moving storm. Unfortunately, it left behind this trail of debris, and it caused water to rise pretty significantly. So there were reports of at least one vehicle getting stuck on that roadway there at 99th Avenue. I was able to speak with that driver. He is fine. He was not hurt, which is good news. Unfortunately, the car has definitely gotten some water inside, and it was unable to turn back on. But the water there was draining down that drainage culvert, if you will. So as quickly as the water rose, it was able to kind of dissipate. Back here, though, we've been kind of driving around in the neighborhood around this area in Sun City, and we have seen a couple of cars stalled, but they were able to kind of get help. We have seen a lot of tow trucks driving around, AAA tow trucks trying to come to people's rescue. We have not heard of any injuries, so that's some good news as well. Luckily, I mean, the sun is coming out. We are starting to warm up just a little bit. Hopefully the storms are behind us and we can kind of dry off just a little bit, guys.
Out, but it's still real dark behind you there, Jade. All right, thank you so much for that report. Right now, we want to go out live to Chase Golightly, and much like Jade's location, it's been on and off with the rain. Same thing with you, Chase. How's it looking now?
Well, I'll tell you, we moved a little bit north. We're still on 32nd, but now we're closer to Thomas, to seeing some of the flooded roads, as we can go ahead and show behind you. Look at those cars trying to plow through. You can see all that water accumulation on the right side of the roadway. Most of those drivers trying to stick into the center lane as far into the center as they can, and you can totally see why. You can also see that car pulling up to that stoplight, kicking up a lot of water here. This is what we noticed throughout 32nd Street, is situations like this. We've also seen plenty of drivers cruising right through, not knowing exactly how deep that water is. And that actually led to some water rescue situations that we saw earlier. I want to go ahead and show you video of one of those. This happened at 32nd Street in Van Buren around 2:30, where a man in a truck was driving south on the road when his front tire got trapped into a manhole. The cover was thrown off. That's been happening a few times that we're seeing here. His truck was stuck. He was hanging out in the bed of his truck, waiting for firefighters to rescue him. They were. What they had to do was they had to put about 8 to 10 of them in the back of the pickup truck to get enough weight on it so then the driver could get in there, be able to reverse the truck. They were able to get the truck unstuck. They were able to help that guy out, and the firefighters were also seen putting the manhole cover back on. That section of the roadway now pretty much clear. We did see a little bit of flooding, but not like what we're seeing here. If we can go back live to where we are now, you can see all those cars right there. trying to cruise through, but you can see they are taking their time. They're taking it slow, because what we're seeing the problem is, especially with these small 4-door sedans, these 2-door cars that are having the most trouble through this. We've seen at least 3 vehicles stall out in the middle of the road, having to either be pushed off by a police cruiser or just Good Samaritans coming out and helping them out. But it's really, again, just to reiterate the side of the roads here. We're at this street right here is Oak Street. This is just south of Thomas. Again, this is on 32nd Street, where we are seeing that water accumulation. Just check that out. Even in the intersections, we're seeing it really pile up. I can't even see where the drains are for the side of the road. Earlier, we were able to see, I'm assuming, it's probably underneath all this water trying to work as fast as it can, but it's just not being able to keep up. And we're seeing that with several other streets. As you can see, this black Charger getting into the center lane of the road once they realize just how deep that water is, because like I said, it's really going up to the sidewalk here that we're standing on, to where you can't even really see the difference between the sidewalk and the street because of how high that water is. And again, you're just seeing it kick up car after car. You can see even that white SUV kicking up so much water right here. I'm actually going to pull our photographer, because we're probably going to get splashed right now if we stand too close. So we're getting out of the way, and we're going to get a little bit of a splash here, but we are good to go. So we're just being mindful of where we're being. Drivers are trying to be mindful. Again, we are seeing some people just cruising through. Others are taking their time, especially those smaller cars, because you could be just cruising down the street, have no idea how deep that water is. So we are encouraging people to take their time. Even if you're in a big truck and think you can handle it, I would say you don't really want to risk it. Be sure to take your time getting to where you need to go. And like I said, you definitely do want to try to stand more into the center lane, away from the outer edge right here where that water is accumulating. But I think we are going to drive a little bit further north. We were seeing a lot of traffic in that area, possible flooding. So I think we'll stay out here just to see how else it goes, but we might be moving further north, where we are seeing more of those dark clouds right over Camelback right there. And that's why we're seeing a lot more traffic and a lot more hazard lights and everything like that over there in that direction. So for right now, we'll go ahead and send it back to you guys in studio.
All right, the sky is still pretty dark up that way. Chase, we'll come back to you. Thank you. Now, if you're just getting home this afternoon and you're saying, why are they covering the rain so extensively? It's because, A, it doesn't happen a lot here.
No.
B, it's a flooding rain. And to give you some context, just today, we were way behind what our typical monsoon average is for rainfall. Today, we matched what we already had, exceeded it, and then it put us back on schedule for our regular amount of rain.
For the total monsoon.
For the total monsoon. In what, just 4 or 5 hours?
Yeah, 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
really.
oh, so 2.5. So that
That's
gives
all
you
it
an
was.
idea of why we're covering this.
Yeah. It's a big deal.
So extensively. There was also some wind damage in some places. Some people this afternoon are without power because of power lines down because of those winds that came along with the thunderstorm and the rains as it came in waves. Will Pitts is right out in the middle of it. Just a little while ago, he was with some guys that were helping stalled cars get out of the intersection. Will, is that what we're looking at here?
No.
Oh,
Look at all that
no.
water in his car.
No, unfortunately, those poor guys had to leave work and leave for the day. This is another car that stalled out in this gigantic puddle. They're bailing out water from the inside of that thing. That tells you how deep that is. That car doesn't have a great clearance, but legitimately that's about a foot of water, because this is what people are driving through. Now, I got to be honest, until 30 seconds ago, I didn't even know there was a storm drain there. It didn't look like there was any drainage here at all, because water was up past the sidewalk, past all of the landscaping, halfway up that Sky Harbor Business Park thing. We have some video of what that looked like just about 2:30 when the first round of heavy rain came through. It was absolutely insane. This whole intersection was flooded, water from side to side, and cars going through the intersection either fast or trying to crawl through, and most of them were just not making it. It's kind of funny. We just had a fire truck go by, because there's another piece of video that we have, if we can go to that. One of the heavy rescue trucks of the fire department, it got flooded also. The people that were standing here helping cars out said down the street they saw the the fire engine get flooded out. We saw it get towed away just a little bit ago. So everybody was getting trapped in here, getting trapped without any way to get out other than to try and go through the water, which again, not very advisable, because from where we are, you can see there's still some people that are going through. This is now a lot better than it used to be, but we are still sitting with one car here, one car over there where my man was bailing out water. You've got this guy over here who's still waiting for his tow truck. There was another car that was parked behind him. All of these cars have lost power and are inoperable. They're all going to have to get towed out of here because there's not much you can do. And we also have some lightning and some more rain coming through. It has just been drizzling for the last couple of hours without stopping, legitimately. And every once in a while, these storms just circle back around, as you guys have been saying, and dump a huge amount of rain again in this area that is already flooded. I mean, just this is a gravel parking lot. And look over there. We still have standing water in the gravel parking lot, and that's usually something that clears out fairly easily. The good news, at least for this intersection and a lot of the intersections around here, we do have storm drains. Again, didn't know that until I could just see it a minute ago, but they are doing a really good job of clearing out the water. But it shows you how much water fell just south of the airport and how quickly it did it, that it overwhelmed that drainage system. Again, the last number I heard from Crystal just a little while ago was 1.25 inches over at Sky Harbor. Sky Harbor is not that far away from us. It's just sitting on us, basically, and still continuing to come down. Really, it's just more of a light rain at this point, but I thought we had some good news. I saw some blue sky off in the distance. Now that blue sky has turned into that. So I don't know if we're in for round 3 out here or not, but you really don't want to be on these roads, even if it's just minimal flooding like it is now. That could flood again very easily. You don't want to drive through it. You don't want to be these poor guys that are sitting on the side of the road waiting for a tow, guys.
Using a cup to get water out of their car.
Oh, and let me tell you something. You never get the smell out of your car. Once your car has flooded like that, even if you get it running again.
That's major
Speaking from
damage.
experience, the insurance company will probably total that car.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because of all the cables and all the wires and stuff that run under the floorboards.
yeah, not good at all.
Yeah.
Well, and it really is amazing how much that lake subsided, but again.
But it could
be
build
for
up
another
again.
round.
Yeah.
Exactly. Speaking of Sky Harbor, we just want to mention, too, that we just got word that there's been a ground stop. That's been extended. It was 4:30. Now it's till 6 p.m.
Yeah.
So, family, friends, definitely let them know. I've been letting my husband know because now he's, continues to be stuck in San Diego when he was supposed to be
There are
here.
worse places to be stuck.
That is true. That is true. All right now we want to get over to 12 News journalist Joe Dana. Joe, remind us where you're at right now and how's it looking?
Tram, we're in South Phoenix. I got to tell you, Southern got soaked. Dobbins took a drubbing. Baseline got basted like an early Thanksgiving turkey. In other words, it rained a lot here in South Phoenix. It's cleared up quite a bit now. Showing you the video, though, we saw some flooding on several roads. And in fact, fire crews out here were very busy. They were involved in up to a dozen different vehicle rescues. A lot of the roads tend to get flooded here. It's near the base of South Mountain. You have water that, just sort of floods this direction. Coming back out live here, though, at Dobbins and 7th Avenue. I want to show you the vantage point we're at. We're in South Phoenix, so if you look north, this gives you an idea of what you can expect within the coming hour. Pretty clear, pretty clear. It gets darker and darker, and as you move to the east, you can see it gets even darker. So, just based on this very sophisticated rain gauge strategy I have, which consists of the corner and looking at the sky, I can tell you it looks like the East Valley is most likely to get rain within the next hour, clearing up in the west.
Chris says you have potential as a meteorologist. You need to work on the presentation a little bit, but
The terminology.
and the terminology, but your instincts are solid. So keep on doing what you're doing and don't
Thank
go
you.
changing. All right.